the shadow of a crimson seal. Free to play with demons, well, through a spirit that whispers hell.虫の手に肌昔の血管には火、言葉にできない鎖の世界に生まれた暗い木々の中で悪魔がささやく落ち着きのない戦争の言葉。A bloodline curse bound to his face. 死の音が夜に響き渡る。彼は過ちを探しそれを正す。彼の傍らには送り抜かいて、その上は増すばかりで決して拒まれない。私の手には肌ぬ、私の血管に言葉にできない鎖の世界の言葉にで壁は食われたでは暗い木々の中では悪魔がさやか。So the bullet is fading twine, fleeing the past but it's close behind, fleeing the past but it's close behind. Sword and bullet is fading twine, sword and bullet is fading. The past is a shadow we can't escape, bound to the howl of an Mercury new, a bloodline curse bound to his face. 血の音が夜に響き渡る。今日さやまちを探しそれを正す。彼の傍らには送りがいて、その上を増すばかりで決して拒まれない。Can you hear the howling winds, the ghostly wail of untold sins? Through the fire, through the rain, you'll face the beast and bear the pain. Hita攻撃のエルカゴで生まれ、真空の封印の影の下で悪魔が住む場所で殺す訓練を受け、横ささやく魂に縛られている。
Are a pirate.
Welcome.
Trying new things. I can't fade it out. Sorry.
You need a
Welcome to
fade.
the Iron Seas.
Yes, it's Tuesday.
We got some
boys.
things going on. The best show Tuesday night every week. Let's go. We watched.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, Woodrow,
We watched Ninja Scroll this
lighting
week.
in your room, impeccable. Almost as good as
Thank
mine.
Thank you.
And we have, of course, special guest this week, Woodrow. Which has something going on. We might talk about a little bit later. And of course, we got plenty of story writing topics to talk about after we discuss Ninja Scroll, which won this week's poll. But before that, Woodrow, how are you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I just financed a new computer, so this is what this lighting is all for. It's coming from my new
yeah, I did that with this PC too, man. I've never spent that much money on a piece of electronic anytime.
Yeah,
probably.
same. Yeah.
Also, AC, that freaking AI song was probably the best one to date. That was so good.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
Suno, the technology is getting better fast.
Yeah.
Friggin' the Japanese rap. I'm like, oh, let's go. I love that stuff. That's right up my alley.
I want a translation.
Like we have any language at our disposal, any genre of music at our disposal. It's freaking amazing. If you know a little bit about
Here are
music,
the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
yes.
This week we did something a little differently. We all watched the movie through Discord. It's a little awkward one to watch.
We can't do it all the time, but when we can, it was a blast. It was a fun time.
We should at least be able to get like one of us, or like even appoint somebody else in the Discord to maybe run it for a week or something like that. But yeah, if you guys want to join the Discord, it's in the comments right now
below.
You can join us for the weekly movie watch. That way you're maybe more prepared for when we talk about it and enhance the show experience.
More
And
prepared.
also in the future, when we have occasional Iron Sea specials, we have guests on Iron Sea specials. We've had Evely's Music's lovely wife on a couple of times, and we're going to be doing more specials in the future. So when we announce them, if something sounds of interest to you, that's something maybe you could participate in the future.
Yeah, we had to be in the Discord to find out about that. Which you haven't made a determining stance on whether you want to do this, but I think we're going to do Stormlight 5 because that releases in a few days, and it's going to take us 50 hours.
Guys, this is gaslighting. He ignores my messages. I said yes, you son of a gun.
You did you? Because you always go like, "Oh, we'll talk about it." I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do.
No, I'll say yes, and we can talk about it more later. But the answer is yes, damn it. Also, Wait in Truth, what's it come out on? Like the 10th or the 16th?
Dude, like really soon, like in this week. So obviously it's going to be very topical. Yeah, Brandon Sanderson, super popular author, super
such Brandon bros, total Brandon bros.
He and he's also finishing off the first. He's ending the first arc of his best written series to date so far.
And I understand that's gonna, like especially the few people that watch this show, you probably haven't even read a Stormlight book, but we're gonna get through this one and then we'll go on to things that are gonna be more new. But yeah, the book club as well as in Discord. But the Stormlight book is just and Brandon Sanderson is just really, really popular right now. But Kahuna, how are you doing? How you been? How's the week?
Dude, it's been good. I've been walking a lot at night. But I like a lot of my creative work has had to come to virtually a standstill, man. My kids have been taking up a lot of my time recently, which is a blessing because I have them and it's been great. But it's been a challenge between taking care of my grandmother who's here right now and then my kids, and then work has been really slammed as well. I've been up at like 5 every morning, and I'm not done working on stuff, like just day stuff, until like 8 or 9 o'clock most nights, except for Tuesdays, obviously. But yeah, man, it's rocking. I'm really looking forward to the future and seeing like the progression of things here on the Iron Seas. Hey guys, we got past 100 subscribers. We're at 105. Woo! There we go.
We got to 100 last week, and then as predicted, we lost a sub. So
you bailed on
YouTube ever since the election ended. YouTube has been freaking out, like with its algorithms, with its subs, with bots, with a whole bunch of weird stuff as well. So it doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Absolutely. Emily Music, how you been? How was the week?
I'm fighting with the chat about a 65-hour long book being 57 hours.
62 hours.
That's too many hours for a book to be, man. Break that thing up. This is ridiculous.
Justin, they are too long for someone like you.
They're too long for any human. That's absurd. Like
I've listened to the first 3 Stormlight books twice in a year. In less than a year.
Yeah, that's too many hours, dude. It's way too many.
The story's so good, man. You don't understand.
No story is that good. You want to sit there for 68 hours?
The Bible?
68. I still need
Got
breaks.
him.
No,
Got
you
him.
didn't.
Your
I don't
mic
want to sit
still
down
does
and
not
listen to
sound
that.
right, Kahuna.
Now, to be fair, I'll be clear. I love the Bible, but hearing the exact dimensions of how to build the ark and the tabernacle around it for the third time in detail in a row, up to like centimeters, a little hard to get through.
I don't
Kahuna, let him talk this week.
I don't want to listen to it from start to finish in one sitting. That sounds like torture for any book. In any case, you have fun doing that. I think Grace is gonna partake, which she's y'all crazy. So my new album or newest album, there it looks like that. It went out on iTunes and some other places. It's not a Spotify yet. Spotify always drags their feet, but iTunes, I got this thing put together yesterday and it popped up already. So if you haven't already heard it because you were averse to going to Bandcamp, if you are on the other streaming platforms, you can check it out and hear the music I've made for other creators, including many in this here Iron Age, Iron Age creators or whatever the I'm not sure the
whatever it's called. I don't know.
It could be, there's music there that's good music. Go listen to it. I picked up Stellar Blade and I threw it in. I wasn't sure what to expect, and so far it's pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm enjoying my time. Yeah, it's like Devil May Cry,
does it have good
slightly more technical. Physics? You know what? It's there, but it really is. If you don't want to lean into that, it's not like in your face. It's like there, like, hey, you can change the outfits if you want. It's like we're good. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Good music in that. Good music. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. AC, how you been? How's the week? What's going on, man?
It's going good, man. It's going good. I'm looking to release another song this week if I can.
Nice.
Other than that, just steadily chilling. Did that video with you. Yeah, just chilling. Same old. Got my music, my writing, and everything. So find everything. Follow me.
Yep. Well, all I got going on is I'm still promoting my book, which if you haven't bought, you're fucking retarded. But I mean, either way, you're retarded. Just try, get that out of here. Get that out of here. What is that? Hey, Woodrow decided to better his life like everyone else probably should.
Solid.
I'll say I purchased the book and my life is no better. So, false advertising, strike him down.
Thought about oiling yourself up for me.
Whoa, what is that?
That might help just a little bit.
Bro, that ain't right. I mean, I could, but that's neither
here nor there. Soundboard. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, well, let's just get into the movie that we are.
Tim Allen wants a link to buy your book.
Oh yeah, well, I will get that in 2 seconds.
Hey, Justin, while he's grabbing that, can you give us the rundown?
I can. The rundown
of Ninja Scroll.
Remember, only a ninja can stop a ninja.
The rundown was tricky for this one. Some information was hard to come by for it. So I'm gonna do the best I can here. So
it's
Ninja Scroll. It's what?
It's very sneaky. Very
sneaky. Where's that? This is a new Bat's voice debuting tonight. It's been practicing in the mirror. Like, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna say something's very sneaky. All right, Ninja Scroll came out in the year 1993. Kahuna, how old are you? -5.
It was before I was born. Shush. I'm a child.
And I was 90, right, Kahuna? So it came out in 1993, and it stars Koichi Yamadera, Imi Shinohara, and Takashi. Oh, no. So household names, we all know them. I nailed the pronunciation. The plot. The film takes place in feudal Japan and follows Kibagami Jubei, a mercenary swordsman who battles the 8 devils of Kimon, a team of ninjas with supernatural powers who are intent on overthrowing the Tokugawa shogunate. During his quest, he is aided by Dakuan, an elderly but crafty government spy, and Kagero. Ekoga Kagero. Yes, we'll talk about her. Ekoga Kunoichi, whose body is infused with poisonous toxins. Watch out. At the time, it was praised for its animation and action season. Ninja Scrolls is actually regarded by many as one of the most influential anime films ever made. Alongside Akira and Ghost in the Shell, it was responsible for increasing the popularity of adult-oriented anime outside of Japan. The film has been cited by the Wachowskis as an influence on the Matrix franchise and resulted in Kawajiri later contributing to 2 segments of the anthology, the film The Animatrix.
The Animatrix. What happened?
Oh, we lost him. We lost him.
We lost.
Robot.
Justin,
What's going
no.
on, Justin? Justin, come back. Are you on Firefox right now? We can't hear you.
Justin,
we can't hear you.
Justin!
What'd you do?
Wait. I can pronounce Japanese at least as badly as Justin. Anyway, so Tagajiri was up there. He was throwing ninja stars and having problems with his internet. Anyway, influence of the Animatrix.
Somebody dub Justin.
I had a hot take about
wait. Okay, wait. Let's just make sure we can act. Can we hear you now, Justin?
This is Anime Week.
No, he's gone.
Well, now you put him on mute. Okay. Well, let's just talk about the movie now. We kind of get the gist of it. You kind of have to read a little bit about the movie to kind of get the overall plot, which, you know.
Well, it's based off, like, it's kind of borrowing from it's assuming you've watched the show a little bit.
Yeah.
And most people hadn't. So they're just like, oh.
I watched this show like a few years ago after stumbling upon it and being like, wait, there was a show? Which
I know, nobody knew.
Like 10 years after the movie did. And
first
nobody
time
heard of
hearing
it for very good reasons. It's really, really bad. Like amazingly bad. I'm a finisher. When I start a show, I finish it. I DNF this one. It just was unbearable. There was a scroll in it. I will say that. There was a scroll in the.
When you watch as much romance anime as I have, you can't always be a finisher. You have to know when to drop the ball a little bit.
Yeah. But let's not focus on that because that really doesn't have anything to do with the movie. Especially like the only thing that it shared with the movie was the fact that the main character was the same person.
Yes.
But yeah,
Woodrow, what about you, man? Woodrow, when did you first watch it? Did you watch it with us, or had you seen it before?
Oh no, I've seen it before. So I was born in '88. I think I saw it. I don't know, probably '95 or '98. I think one of my friends had a VHS or something, and
I remember those.
It may have been a DVD at the time, so it may have been closer to like '99 or something. But when I watched it then, it was kind of the same thing. Like I had never really seen something like that violent and bloody, in cartoon or animated form. So I was just like obsessed with that scene. With that first scene that where the ninja are all hunted down by that rock demon dude.
Mm-hmm.
That shit sticks with you.
Korg from Planet Hulk storyline.
Yeah. And it sticks with you for a good reason, as opposed to why all the other stuff sticks with you in the movie.
Well, like they really want to establish that he's the bad guy, and he does so very effectively, very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's a bad guy.
That ADR on that tongue was something else as well. Mm-hmm. But moving on.
There's some weird scenes in this, right? But like again, it's the shock value is immense in this movie, and especially back then, this shock value was nothing. Like nowadays, you're getting shock value like this in other stuff. Boys, Invincible, blah blah blah.
I have a bit of a hot take about this film. I don't think. Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Yeah, that's right.
What's your hot take?
Anyway, I don't think this film would be it basically just came at the right moment in the right time. Basically, like what Woodrow said. There weren't, like, in Western media, especially cartoons, there was nothing really this violent that was readily available in the West. And I think it was the first, but it wasn't nearly the best of obviously what was to come in that regard.
Yeah, I remember that was the biggest thing that I remember after the rock guy was the vagina snake. Didn't really remember much after that. That one stuck out to me like crazy. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Me, like a young teenager or however. I was like early high school. Like, whoa.
See, this is all
Netflix
weird for me because
first had the on-demand option. But no, that's not a hot take, dude. Timing is huge with a lot of things. And honestly,
the movie
nostalgia taken out of this, there's not much to this movie.
No, like the animation is neat. I like some of the sound design.
Yeah, it's quality animation, it's quality action, but the story is not there. Character
So-
design also dope.
Yeah, character design was really cool.
I think a lot of like in terms of the story for this, it came out in '93, right? So I think they were kind of trying to possibly market it to Americans in a way because it feels like an '80s action movie, just dressed like dressed up in the whole Edo Japan stuff. Like you got your main protagonist, the love interest who just can't stop fighting and always is the damsel in distress, and then the quote unquote amount of guys he has to kill. He's got these 8 demons or whatever, and that's almost all you get.
It just to me was just
do we
that
know
was
if
just a
this
lot
was
of
a
anime
manga?
tropes.
Do we know if this was based on a manga first, or was it an anime
I don't believe
only
so.
thing?
I believe it's anime only.
It reminds me like of a slightly rougher version of like Rurouni Kenshin a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just in the vibes, the way the fights kind of
Okay.
go down a little bit. Like it's not they're not quite superheroes, but they're not quite normal men either, kind of thing.
So Rurouni Kenshin was on the list as well for a movie. Do you guys want me to ruin Rurouni Kenshin for you forever?
Oh, the
No, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. Okay, I won't mention it then. Yeah.
But I'm curious.
Massive pedo.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh no!
massive.
Doesn't look like
and
work,
they
but
found a massive pile of
thousands.
child
we get it. We get it.
pornography.
Stop.
And you know what the Japanese law did?
We already got it, but
Yeah. The Japanese law was just kind of like, yeah, we still want you to make stuff, so here's
well,
some
dude,
of the rest.
you know that was only outlawed in Tokyo in 2013. Before that, it was completely legal to own. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of just be like, yep. Oh, Japan. Cultural differences.
Japan, yep.
Japan.
But anyways, back to Ninja Scroll. Sorry for the derail. I think this movie just came out at the right time where they introduced Americans into Japanese storytelling and stuff like that, and the West was ready for it, but like in the fact that it's like, well, we weren't like used to other better stuff. Like I don't think I had seen Akira by then, but like basically your library of animes by then is probably really small, so it's like it stood out.
It was special partially because if you were watching anime in the States back then, a lot of the time you were probably like they didn't have a lot of dubs, and most of the time when there was a sub, it was a fan made sub as well. And so it was not the access was not new. It was like a treasure hunt back in the day, and nowadays it's so accessible. Anyone much younger than me would have no idea about any of that. But
Right.
yeah, again, like when you compare it to its contemporaries, Ghost in the Shell is one of the most visually striking films I've ever seen. People hold Akira in an amazingly high regard. Still haven't read it or seen it. And then I feel like this film was just in the right place at the right time. Its quality does not stand up against its contemporaries.
Well, the biggest thing is the story. The story was just not there. Like what Woodrow was saying, like a lot of things he mentions, just this movie was full of anime tropes that at the time we weren't really used to. And it's not like using tropes is necessarily a bad thing. It's just I've seen the 8 demons done better. Like as far as the antagonist being in this, it's just like the character design was really cool for them. But outside of that, it's like a lot of them died like blah, or a lot of it, the world building, like the more they went into the story, the more like you had to ask questions of like what's going on with this world. It's just a lot of things fell apart after you're like, what's going on here? And then if you're looking at it like, okay, well the action's really good. There's a lot of in between there that's like story stuff, and it's just like, well, the story's not good. I just don't care about. And when we're watching this live, I had to ask. We demand out. Oh, because Justin. I had to ask. I was like, so why does he care about the ultimate villain of this, Genin, whatever, Genin?
Gemma.
Yeah, why is he so like angry about him? And then they had like a flashback scene, which we kind of didn't really know what was going on. And it just didn't really describe what was going on. I had to like look it up to see why he was pissed at this guy. And I felt like the movie just did a really poor job of portraying what was going on with the story.
Yeah, it like in a thing like animation, sometimes you'll have people like, because with animation it's just drawing. You can create anything, and some people get a little too creative and take a little too much license when it comes to conveying the story. And sometimes people you get lost in the sauce, because the worst thing that you can have happen in a movie, besides having people who are bored, is not conveying the information in a way that makes sense or is clear. That's one of the worst things I think that a movie could do.
Yeah, I mean, they like the whole motive of the him and the villain, which is also the big theme of the movie, which is again not really there. You have to look it up. Like, it's supposed to be a story of revenge, and how like going down a path of revenge is just constant violence and stuff. And I'm like, I got none of that watching this. What are you talking about?
That's not. So what they did is they actually portrayed him with like the people who are trying to buy him as like this sellsword for really cheap. He almost they almost portray him as just a wandering adventurer who doesn't care about anything, or like that's the feel you kind of get. So you don't even feel like he's on a revenge mission at all. Yeah.
Like, well, it's not like halfway through he doesn't find out that the guy's even involved, or he's like still alive through the power of resurrection. So he was on your team, but like that one was just like, okay, guys, what's going on with the power system? What is up? Like, what?
It sort of
how
seems
do you get
like
the power of resurrection?
Yeah, it seems like they came up with a bunch of interesting character designs and powers, and like, this is rad. How do we make this fit together? And like, I just like throw it straight. Who cares, man? Just get to the action.
Screw
like,
it, man. Doesn't matter.
And if you walk into it, that's actually, if I recommended this to somebody, what I would tell them is go watch like the boss fights, because some are kind of fun and pretty cool. And
yeah,
some of them, like the shadow dude goes up in the wall and he just throws the sword at him. It's like just one shot
like,
killing
that
these
was
guys,
it?
and it's so anticlimactic. I'm like, wait, is that it? Damn, he got him. Like, all right, that was kind of cool. Like, I feel like it sinks or floats on that. But I think if you just watch the action scenes and skip like the story, you're probably better off in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Bill brought up Ghost in the Shell, and he is comparing the world building and being, negligent in some ways. And I think both Ghost and this film, in their respective ways, are held up by their character designs and their animation. Because honestly,
Ghost has a huge philosophical
thing
going on with that. I'll disagree with Bill.
I found it a very unsatisfying story with a very unsatisfying conclusion.
I'm not a Ghost fan. I don't think I've even watched Ghost before, so I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, that's right. Woodrow, what do you have to say?
Okay, I like it, but I agree that it doesn't completely portray everything that it wants. Like, it doesn't hit you as hard as it wants. It feels like it wants to.
I've read books and seen other things that talk about similar ideas and have a more satisfying or interesting kind of conclusions in some ways. Yeah. But like again, with that film in particular, it's so visually striking that you almost forget about the story, and at least I do when I watch it. But
yeah. Let's just go through the 8 demons, because that's really all this is. There's like a whole like government thing going on that nobody cares about. Like, it's just so pointless to the story about them trying to like gain powers. The shadow
dark shogunate.
Yeah, the shadow shogun, which is so stupid. Again, it's like you guys really need to learn where to
stop laughing when I first heard that. I was like, wait, it's a shadow shogun. Yeah, that's right.
It sounds better in Japanese, I'm sure.
What the fuck was
that? Okay, so the rock guy, the first one we come across, probably one of the ones we have like the most on-screen time with.
Very aggressive in relation in his performance.
Yes. His introduction and how he wipes out all those people, dope.
Yeah, that
really cool.
What is that? What weapon is that?
Nobody knows. Cool.
Double sword.
Really cool.
A Japanese weapon, whatever that is.
To this day, still no one knows the name of it.
It's a ninja secret.
It's like the giant shuriken from the first Naruto episode. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
You know what? That's what's on the scroll we never see. It's what that throne thing is
the name of it.
Well, it's like I will say too, like before I forget again, but it's like because of lack of better words, like Naruto like took the vibes of this like world.
Oh,
and,
way
yeah.
inspired. Yeah.
And like also the world building's not like great in Naruto, but like did way better than this. Like they actually put some explanation into powers.
No,
and stuff
inside of the schlop that is Naruto, there is a beautiful story and show somewhere in there. Cut out about 50 or 60% of it.
Yeah, exactly. So the rock guy, like again, cool powers. I like when he got stabbed in the eye. I mean, that's tropey, but like still was good.
It's weird. Stabbing in the eye is almost always effective.
Yeah, the essay scene, really weird. Just like
there's better
extra weird
for sure.
Yeah,
I think the artist just wanted to draw it. That's all I can surmise. Or the director.
I think Japan was
see
like,
it.
wait till the Americans see our newest weapon, animated boob.
Well, like they say that they're the 8 demons, and then you're like, okay, that explains the powers. They must be like demon blood. But then you find out that the guy used to be in his crew, and you're like, wait, are these guys demons? Are they just humans? What's going on?
The Rock was clearly not a human.
Right. But like again, is it their ninjutsu that gives them their powers? I don't know. But yeah, he would eat people, right? Like that's absurd. But yeah, no, there was some weird essay in there.
It looks like exaggerations of stories I was read as a child about like Japanese Oni or Hawaiian demons of it that are very, very similar. It looks like exaggerations, like in more specific versions of what I was read about as a child.
And then so like, what is it? Then the main character comes in while she's like being, yeah. It was kind of like funny, but it was also like, you just missed your one opportunity to actually kill him.
It was definitely uncomfortable. I normally watch those scenes by myself. Wait, never mind.
Yeah, then so like he turns his invincible mode in, but of course, later he like pops in on the samurai after he escapes with the girl. He freaking rolls in like Sonic through the wall. I don't know if you noticed that, which I kind of was hoping to think he would be doing, like bouncing around with that, like holding his like whatever the fuck that weapon was. But yeah, he then just kind of dies because he ate the poison a lot, and yeah, I thought that was like decent, right?
Tim, you liked that sound. Anyone ever mention I'm an ASMR artist? No.
Yeah, the aspect of the boss battles being sort of like a puzzle. It wasn't just brute strength or who has a higher power level. It was
again like Naruto. You can see the correlation. It's really strong here. I didn't realize until
how early is early Naruto though? Well, like what year?
Naruto? I'm not sure.
Whatever. Naruto's after. Is after
Naruto. So this so Naruto maybe was influenced by this then.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we
came in late to the watch party. I came in late to the watch party, and I watched about like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's Naruto meets Demon Slayer, and everybody was like, yeah, basically, yeah,
with tits.
So first demon, I thought that like for the most part, besides the awkward essay, that was good. Great introduction with the shock value and everything like that. That was cool. The way he died was cool because it's like, oh yeah, this chick, like her skin is poison. So it's just like that was like an interesting aspect. Wish they did something different with that, but no. So then we go to the second one. The second one that ends up dying is the snake lady, which again, this is the best one, right? She's got tattoos of snakes on her, and then all of a sudden she uses her snake jutsu, and she can have snake skin clone.
Snake.
Yeah. And then the girl sneaks up behind her, and then the vagina snake comes out and bites her, and it's like, I'm watching possibly the coolest thing ever.
I like whenever she deflates and she just melts because she's supposed to be shedding her skin. Just like, I was like, that was pretty cool.
I take umbrage with something C-Bats just commented. It's symbolism because women slowly drive you to your grave. I have contention with this statement. I think they drive very quickly. much faster. It's not a slow drive. Anyway,
Well, there's different kinds of poisons, so that's why she has all these different kinds of snakes.
Yeah. Not poison in this movie.
Got bitten by the most dangerous snake a woman possesses.
Well, that's also like pretty ancient, if you think about like Medusa and shit.
Adam and Eve too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, and then they're like, okay, she's too cool, like naked lady with snake vagina. Which that sounds transsexual. But
yeah, she has a snake between her legs, brother.
There's kind of like one of the demon guys is kind of like has some kind of electric communication powers, and he's got like threads all over the place, and he's like, yeah, this character's too cool. Let me offer. I don't know why he killed her, but yeah.
I didn't know she was dead at that scene either. I was like, she got shocked pretty good, but I don't know. She's a snake lady. I thought maybe she'd be all right.
I think
she wasn't. Though. She just didn't come back. I was like, wait, where is she at? They're like, no, dude, that was it. I was like, oh, because at one point we were counting how many were left, and you're like, yeah, they got that one, the snake lady. I was like, oh man, I thought she was okay.
She was gonna give him information. I think that she was talking to him, and then all of a sudden she just gets electrocuted. So I think he killed her before she gave up to him information.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
What information though?
I don't know.
She knew the name.
I have some vital information.
Oh shit!
The rest are very dangerous.
What's the weapon called?
That thread never got snagged on anything.
Never.
It's Battsauce. It's like Elvish rope from Tolkien. It just doesn't do that. Obviously,
I'm totally fine with that. And then like that kind of goes into kind of what started our like soft magic, hard magic topic, because like this was a use of soft magic system where I was kind of with it at first. Right, like it said, the cord. So after the snake lady got killed by her own person, which again, this is supposed to go into the themes of betrayal, but like again, it's dumb. It's not like, who cares? I don't know. The third one to die is the beehive guy. Like they like after they get swarmed with snakes, they're like, okay, let's swarm them with bees.
Oh, good. The environmentalist guy. It's just a modern leftist.
Yeah, he looks like the 300 demorphed guy, as Justin put it. And
back in Notre Dame, motherfucker.
Yeah, his back is literally the beehive. And to stop the bees from completely swarming them, the girl does something. What she does, she waves her hands and leaves like flower petals like go around.
Petals, yeah.
I don't fucking know. And this is where this is why I was just like, yeah, this magic system's fucking retarded.
It was ninjutsu. It was like she had flowers that were laced with like sleeping powder. I guess she had an infinite amount of them or some shit.
Wait, so she's Butterfree from Pokemon? Are you
kidding me? That's exactly what that was.
He's up there.
Yeah, then he goes into the water to protect himself from the bees, and then
not the bees. No, not the bees.
Dude just jumps in after him. He's never been swimming with his bee back. He had no idea.
Three of them are standing there watching it too. Yeah,
that means he's never bathed in Japan.
Yeah, sure. He jumps in the water, and the bees start attacking him from inside because they're in water, and so he dies. And it's like,
and then
really?
The hive is done. Yeah, kill your host, and then your hive will definitely just not float to the sink to the bottom. Good plan.
I had to ask because I'm like, did he get pulled in? Like, no, he just jumped in.
Just went after
like,
man.
What?
Well, it makes sense. He's never been in the water before. He can't swim. It makes it, there's a logical line here. I'm following it. Yeah. Gotta do some more. Gotta do some more smelling salts, but I'm following it.
So, and then after that, there's a whole thing where like I forgot how it happens, but they like fall off a cliff. Right? The two of them.
Yeah, and she's like dangling. He's got the little string.
Oh,
the fact that didn't cut up his hand, I'm like, wow, he must do far more than his hands are that callous.
The guy that got his arms cut off like a whole month ago, that was like his mouth showed up, his eyes sewn up and stuff like that, and he was like a bomb, as one of the demons is a bomb person. Cool design. And so then they like get blasted off the side of the cliff. And they're about to die, but then one of the demons grabs their sword, allowing them to pull up. And I'm like, Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Like, it's not explained. It's not like honor or anything. It's just like stupid. And then he's a blind samurai type, and a cool fight scene between him and the other two, but one that shouldn't have happened because he should have just let them die. And
It'd be a shame if a character did something that makes no sense in the context of the story just to keep the plot going. But that can never happen, right?
Pretty forgettable. I honestly almost forgot about him. I almost skipped over him.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know. How do you guys feel about that one? Or how do you feel about any of the demons that we've talked about so far? I've been rambling.
I thought it was a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot of like Metal Gear and again the puzzle fights, even if they're not all good. I don't know. It's just something fun.
Actually,
about
that's
it.
a
Like,
really
how's he
good
gonna win this
comparison.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both that production and those games have a questionable story and quality. So it is a great comparison.
Yeah, he had to really use his mind to defeat them. Basically, he used his mind to allow one of the demons to save them. Somehow, and then he used his mind to make that fucking one jump in the water and kill himself. He's so stupid.
He's like, you didn't grow up at the YMCA, did you?
Yeah.
I guess Daniel's saying he saved them so they can duel. So it was an honor reason, I guess. I don't know.
It is a concept in Bushido, but it wasn't said explicitly. So for Americans, Joe, you wouldn't.
But he's
get
a
it.
demon.
You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it, Joe.
Throat needle.
Throat needle. What was the throat needle?
That was one of the demon's attacks.
Oh, that was the bee guy. He did a throat needle.
The throat needle. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonder how he practiced getting that in there. Wait. I have a lot more questions than I think we have answers.
It's like battling David Blaine or something, or like,
He comes up, he's like, I worked at a host club before this.
And I think at this point, then we find out that whatever his name is still alive.
Betty.
Ginham or whatever. And so what we got? Ginham, we got the explodey girl, we got the electrocuting wire guy, and basically
This is how the concept creation of this, like, what do we got in this movie? And they're just listening. This is the exact conversation that took place.
Well, the electrocuting wire guy is about to kill the main character, but then he's betrayed. His betrayal's a theme. Gets betrayed by the explodey girl, which again is like, just wait till he kills the dude. Whatever.
The main characters do survive a lot through a lot of convenience.
And then didn't the explodey girl kill herself?
No, it was.
You guys remember what she said right before she blew? Also.
Oh, right. The fire. They set a trap for her.
That's right. And he put the candle in the oil, and she was like, "Hey, you don't do that.
Stop that! You can't do that. Stop
it.
This is not good."
No.
Wait, now she's Japanese. Nani? And
then the final fight happens with the resurrecting guy, and that fight I thought was pretty good. I liked it. Yeah, it sucks. He died by getting gold melted on him, and he's he's dead.
Pretty good too.
We refer to him as gold member. There was an unfortunate smelting accident.
Another fun solution, he tried headbutting him through the earth, and whenever that failed, the gold inside the boat, which, I mean, a burning boat, it's pretty cool. It's not quite as cool as an exploding windmill, but it's right up there for me. So I was like, oh, there's something ironic about on a boat.
Justin's watching, he's like, it's like exploding windmill adjacent. I'll take it.
Yeah,
there's wood, there's fire. It's a human-made thing. Yeah, it kind of works out.
The guy's immortal, and he keeps coming back and stuff. So it's like, well, how do you solve that problem? And he's like, oh, encase him in gold. Yeah, easy.
Perfect.
And then the dude has to just chill at the bottom of the ocean, encased in gold for all eternity. Which that sounds like kind of
that's actually very Japanese.
Yeah.
It felt like, I don't know, Greek or
Oh,
something.
I totally forgot. We forgot about one of the demons, the shadow guy.
Oh
Yeah.
his
I
power
feel
was
like
kind of neat.
why do I feel like the shadow demon guy in every anime always gets the shaft? Like he's never as cool or stuff as he should be.
Dude, well, they set up like they were gonna have a fight, and then he's like, "Nah." He throws his sword and just snipes him. Like, okay, that was easy. Like,
And his move
fuck.
too, where he like made 10 of him, and like, which one's the real one? He just cuts through all of them at the same time, like gets his leg. Just like,
Again,
oh,
like the
all right.
shadow guys always have cool powers and they always seem very capable. And then he just gets sniped and beaten, have the like wiped out immediately. Like Faith does the same thing too. It's
Yeah.
like, watch this. I can do all of this. Be a shame if this other guy had this ultimate power where an army of unstoppable warriors killed all of them. Oh, well, okay, cool. That was fun.
I think Vampire Hunter
Yeah.
D is the
Look,
only
I
movie
get it.
I've seen where the
I
shadow
haven't seen
demon
that
killed
in
someone.
years. Yeah, there's a lot of
No,
questionable
I get what
vampire shows
Daniel's
back in
saying.
the day.
I get it. She was trying to capitalize on the opportunity. But again, this dude just took out like all of your buddies. Like, I think having him dead's a little bit more important. Yeah, anyways, but yeah, Shadow Guy, and then also they kind of showed that the old guy can turn into wood. And again, I'm like, what?
There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm just
Yeah, what's going on with this power system? But that's the movie. Oh, we forgot. Sorry, we forgot about the other thing. So she's like, he got poisoned from the beginning by the old guy. The old guy's like, to get you to do what I want, I'm gonna poison you.
Wait. Vampire Night, is that weird one where the brothers are incestuous and there's a lot of awkward moments of them talking with music but no actual animation, it's just still frames? Is that Vampire Night?
I don't know, derail. Anyways,
Sorry.
So the old guy hits the main character with a poison by Justin. And that's how he like gets him to do what he wants. I'm like, okay, but he doesn't have the antidote with him. Turns out that the way to heal him is to have him have sex with the girl that has poison skin because of poison to defeat the poison.
More poison, I guess.
And then he turns her down as she's like naked, like, take me. And he's like, no. I'm like, why? What is the reason?
Now that you're not being violated by a demon, I'm not really into it, frankly.
Yeah. And then like she shares a kiss with him, and I'm like, okay, so if you just had to kiss him, why don't you just, a little peck real quick? Like you didn't have to like undress and like have sex, which I'm guessing is what keeps him alive at the end. I don't know. But then she, yeah, she dies at the end. But
Be gone, thought.
I don't know. I just imagine it's like the Japanese idea of like the ultimate stoicism is like turning down a girl. I don't know. It didn't make sense. It wasn't like she was being
Beginning of the
pressured
film,
unnecessarily.
fight demon. Rest of the film, fight demon. End of film, reject woman. Highest level achieved.
Highest Chad level.
That's the climax of the movie.
He's like, I've defeated the ultimate demon. Women.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ almighty, dude.
But that's the movie. Went into a little bit more detail than we usually do. My bad. Just kind of
You just like talking about demon pussy snakes, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they did like kind of set it up in a ladder, like step-by-step process, right? With the 8 demons or whatever.
It's kind of like Scott Pilgrim versus the Worlds. Like there's stages to the movie, so you can talk about each section. Pretty
right. Well, again, this movie's filled with a lot of anime tropes. That being one of them, and it's a trope that I'm a huge fan of. I love that trope. It's just, again, I don't think it was done well in this.
Am I the only one who's kind of tired of the hero who always rejects the woman at the end of the story?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've read about a couple stories like that recently. I'm like,
well,
okay,
why is he rejecting her? Right? Like, why? In Ninja Scroll, why did he reject the woman? There was no reason for him to reject the woman.
Besides defeating the ultimate demon being the affection of women, there was no reason for it.
Yeah.
It was just more Kagero abuse. It was like anytime her character was on screen, she was just getting tormented.
Yeah, there's just more abuse to her. Your mic is really quiet.
Is it?
Uh,
Awesome.
Can you yell? violently.
Yeah. But all right, overall thoughts. I'll skip you for now, Justin. Woodrow, what's your overall thoughts about this one?
Overall thoughts is it had a cool idea, like we said, do action, cool characters, but that's what they started with, and that's about all they had. The story wasn't enough to keep me. I stopped paying attention, like you said, when they were doing the talking parts. Like it's kind of, I would just go back and watch the fights, and that's it. So for me, yeah. Are we doing the whole sink or float thing yet?
We'll wait. We'll wait.
Okay.
We get our overall thoughts on, and then we'll do that.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't care about the Shadow Shogun like at all. Like,
Yeah.
Kahuna, what are your overall thoughts?
Neat art style, some fun character designs. I like the animation as well. It's pretty clean, especially considering the time. It's just it's a slightly forgettable for me because I'm not like all of you. I didn't grow up watching anime. I didn't watch a single anime until I was married, and so like 2013. And so my view of anime is somewhat different. It's been filtered through a very different process than a lot of people.
You didn't watch Dragon Ball Z?
I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z. I watched like some American anime like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, but I didn't know they were Japanese.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah. It's a fun movie. I like it. I think it was an important step moving forward in Western anime for like what it would herald forward and bringing more stuff to the West. But it's a little forgettable for me. That's my opinion.
AC, how'd you feel about it?
So I think the fact that it was all like hand drawn at the time and stuff is a major positive where I can't really.
It's not like they had any other choice back then.
I know.
They weren't Steven Spielberg making Jurassic Park. They had to hand draw it.
Right. Well, that fact combined with like the level that they were willing to go to, I guess, like one thing that stands out to me is the scene where the guy he headbutts him over and over again into the ground. That like stood out to me, you know what I mean? And I think they were like showing new creators at the time like how far you could go, which I have to give it credit for that. But I would probably just go back and skim the fights as well. It's very much like on that same level as like, you know, any other thing that you go and skim the boss fights like Naruto or DBZ. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I do like the headbutting thing you brought up. That's also a good point because I like when a story, whether it's animated, written, or whatever, there are moments in life where the nice, smooth, like ultimate finisher move approach for a fight is good. But sometimes the brutality is a much more effective means of dealing with a threat. And I've, been in enough fights. I've seen that happen. So I like that in the story.
Yep.
Justin, how'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I thought the animation was pretty good. The art was gorgeous at times for sure. The action was pretty tense. I mean, early on when the Rock is throwing that giant stone toothpick and it's just ripping through everything, is pretty awesome. The music is very much from like the time period, but in a good way. It's got like, I don't even know how to describe it. We were talking, it almost reminded us of Godzilla a little bit. It's something about the I don't know, mid quality of the sound design back then or something. It was cool though. I enjoyed that. Awesome character designs. The puzzle fights were neat. The MC, anytime it's just like this chill, confident main character, that's good stuff. But
So
yeah,
generic.
it's like you guys said. Yeah, dude, just like confident and chill. Sure. I don't need complex. I don't need emotions and stuff. Just like kick butt, take names, move on.
No emotion. Kick butt.
Don't need it.
Reject
That's right.
woman.
Yeah. I have emotions.
Live
I don't need it in
well.
my entertainment. My men don't need to be emotional. But yeah, I'm with you guys on everything else. And like we already said, the fights are cool, but the rest of it as a whole, yeah, it didn't all come together. I didn't feel the gelling. It didn't gel.
Not gelling.
It didn't gel, bro. It didn't gel.
This whole nostalgia thing goes like to the underground aspect of it too. It's like, when you saw it much like back in the day or whatever.
Yeah, when you
it was
tricked
very
your
much
mom
like
into renting it from Hollywood Home Video.
Oh my gosh, what is this? It's like outworldy, right? And I just think it's so funny because to this day, people kind of say it's like the best anime movie ever, and they like will even argue with that with Akira, and I just couldn't imagine saying a more retarded fucking thing in my fucking life. This movie doesn't come even close to Akira, and like a lot of the compliments you guys are giving it too. It's just like, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of anime, right? Which is, you know, fine.
Again, I think if it wasn't,
but it's like you say,
it wasn't in the place that it Someone take that soundboard away from him. This is irresponsible.
No, that was a good one. I
It's like giving a child a pew pew and just letting him rock and roll.
No, Akira's older than this. I'm pretty confident in that. Way better animation, like 30 times. Like this for a movie quality animation is like on par with mid animation for movies. Because the thing is, if you compare it to TV show animation, yeah, no shit, it's better than that. Movie animation is just much higher quality.
Cleaner, yeah.
Yeah, but there's plenty of movies, that coming out at the same time that had better freaking animation, better music, like a lot better music. It's just this one, it had some cool qualities to it, good shock value. The story was complete ass. And the vagina snake, S tier quality content right there. But outside of that, the vagina
I almost feel
snake,
like that was a nod to Berserk or something. It seems like a very Berserk thing to do, a little bit.
Maybe, I don't know. This movie on rewatch was extremely disappointing. I knew it was. I already went into this being like, okay, it's no way it's gonna be as good as I remember. It was way worse than I remember.
Wow, this is so unexpected. I thought I was going to be on a lonely island with this one, and it seems like maybe I won't be.
Yeah. Hey guys, I gotta get going here, like pretty much right now. So sorry, but
okay, yeah, no problem.
Have a good night,
well,
brother.
before that, sink or float. Kahuna.
You know, despite all my criticism, I'm not upset I watched it. I give it a float. It is what it is meant to be.
Because you're not upset you watched it.
Yeah,
Same.
It's not a fit. Like the story is bad, but I wasn't watching it for a good story. So, you know, it has to partially do with my expectation going in.
I hate that answer. Like, that was such a terrible answer. I have some enjoyment out of it.
I wasn't disappointed. I give it a float.
So
he floats it.
What else floats?
Justin, what are you doing?
Very small rocks. All right, guys, I gotta go. Peace out.
Later, Kahuna.
There's a lot to like here. I think people that have fond memories of it and enjoy the parts of it that are cool, I get it. To me, though, Kagero, you take Kagero out of the movie, and I'd probably say it barely floats. But this one, I because of the depiction of that character, I can't. Nope, it's a sinker.
Wait, you take who out of this?
Kagero, the girl. His
Oh,
little girl sidekick, that was like, nah, I can't. The fights are cool and stuff, but why is this here? Like, she was just the
her
entire
design was
movie.
cool.
Yeah, but she was just abused in every way, like possible, start to finish. And then I thought I thought in my mind she lived at the end. No, it's like they kill her, they send her off. I'm like, you broke rule number 1. You don't take out the babe. All right, if babe's getting taken out, it better be to dinner, not out of the film in horrific ways and all. So yeah, it's a sinker for me. It's a sinker.
Absolutely. Okay. Woodrow, how you feeling on this?
For me, the rewatch was definitely unsatisfying. I feel like because it was all shock value, that's just a lightning bolt straight to the deck of the ship, but it's a sinker for me.
Yeah. A.C Pritchard, how'd you feel about this?
It's a floater because of the undeniable effect it had on culture and the quality of the animation and et cetera, et cetera. But the
quality of animation is like mid for that time period.
I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I'm with the AC.
Yeah,
I agree with you. It was fine. I don't think that's something that raises it up.
Fine is
Yeah.
fine, you know.
Fine is fine. It's not an F. It's
Fine
fine.
floats.
It's a
Yeah.
C, actually.
Look, you can have
That's better than a
absolute
D.
ass of a story, and it can influence something else because we're like, yeah, we shouldn't do that. Like I try to look at, you know,
That's
we
true.
say we're like, oh, there's so much influence this on Naruto, but then you look it up, they're like, yeah, there's zero influence. I'm like, okay, so they must have got it from something else. So like probably the influence we got from Ninja Scroll is just because we're more ignorant of the earlier stuff with Japan.
Yeah,
They just got really lucky with the timing on this and the release, and it just makes me really happy that I'm just gonna play this clip because it's so well deserved for this fucking disappointment. Redheaded stepchild.
I'm shocked at this result. Shocked.
Really?
This is not what I
got high
expected at all.
standards, especially with anime, dude. And like rewatching it, I was like,
It was hard. It was a hard read because we were watching it together. Everybody was having a good time. Everybody was having really good time, and then yeah, it was just
Fine
surprising
people
me.
on all sides having a good time.
yeah,
And great time.
because I have fun watching something doesn't mean I think it's quality.
But, you know, factors in for sure. If you're having a boring,
Yeah.
if you're like, you can tell somebody hates something, but if they're laughing and smiling, you know, the odds that it floats a little bit higher. That's all. So I'm a
Well,
little
it's like
surprised.
shock, like you know, you've heard me complain about shock value in the past, and it's like if something's just shock value and that's all it's relying on, it's going to get me pretty upset because it's like shock value is the outer.
Oh my gosh, guys,
shell,
the snake girl.
right?
I just realized the symbolism of her getting shocked. It was for shock value.
But yeah, it's the same thing as watching a train wreck. You know, train wrecks
yeah.
keep your attention.
Yeah. It's just like especially where people are like, "Yo, this is like the best anime movie ever." Like, no, it's not. There's just so many better anime movies out there that you definitely watch and not this. I mean, it's worth watching because of like how popular it was. But if it was never that popular, I would just be like, yeah, it's got some. Look up the fight scenes on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's Wrangler saying? We never said what's up in the chat, guys. I apologize. Let me take this opportunity right now to do that, which I'm totally gonna miss some people. But start with Daniel P. Riley. What's up, dude? Welcome to the show. Tim Allen, ahoy. Bill Armstrong, ahoy. What's up, dude? This person called Seabats. Not sure who that is. And then we got Wrangler in the show. What's up, dude? And I know I saw Zaid Comics. Bill Diaz, what's up? And yeah, okay. Well, so I think we're done talking about that stinker, that, you know, embarrassment to be on here.
Oh, jeez.
Again, I can't stand when it's just like we're gonna float something because we're like, yeah, it has some fun qualities. Like, okay, but what does that say with the overall content,
Sometimes
right?
a little fun is all you need.
Listen. This is the iron seas. Those seas are rough. You have to be extra buoyant. You can't just be like kind of floating. It's gonna sink in the iron seas. It's gonna sink.
Yeah, there at least needs to be a lot of plot. You know, like a lot of plot.
Yeah. Yeah, but they, you know, there was plot in Ninja Scroll, but they also made it super
Not thick
awkward.
enough. Not thick enough plot.
No,
The plot
definitely
wasn't thick enough. Not with two C's at least.
Woodrow, you got a project? Did you want to talk about your project? Because I know you're well off before you're gonna release it, but you know, you got some things you want to chill. Now's the time to do it.
So I've got a book coming out called Okuri Inu, The Wolf Within. That's sort of a 60-page book. And then I've actually released a story called Tokyo Blues that you can find on my Twitter. It's a link tree in my bio that goes to the Tokyo Blues and then all my other socials and stuff like that. As a mailing list on there as well. So I have a little elevator pitch for The Wolf Within and the whole volume 1 here. Let's see. Got it open.
right.
Takeru Okazaki is a haunted warrior who flees his family's secret war only to have the ripples of his absence turn into waves that threaten everything he loves. To find atonement, he must confront his past and the dark ritual that bound him to the spirit of an Okuri Inu. Then it's basically like a Cyber Ronin story. It takes place in the 42nd century on a very different Earth than we live on. Yokai, which are evil spirits, have basically made Earth their playground and hide as corporate entities, slowly corrupting and destroying the planet that they set foot on. It's basically that's the kind of the backdrop he was born into, but the story kind of takes place over. It's a more personal journey for him, and then things sort of explode from there.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I start to ramble if I don't stop. So
no, I totally got you. I'm looking for your cover. I'm going to show that real quick.
Yeah, click the link, dude. The art here is awesome. The logo's really cool too, and the trailer, it's like full animation.
yeah,
It's
thank you.
awesome. Yeah, it reminds me. The animation style kind of reminds me of an old Sega Saturn game called Three Dirty Dwarves.
Oh yeah, nice. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, right. It's got something about it reminds me of, but this is really well made.
yeah. It's Pedro Eng.
I'll play the trailer as well soon.
Yeah,
I also noticed you have like several books too, right? So like you're actually pretty well established as well. So
Gibberish.
Well, I don't have anything published
Sure,
yet, but there's three books that are part of this volume 1. There's a 32-page story that's free, people can read now that I mentioned, 60-page story that's the meat, and then there's a 14-page like little cherry on top that actually Von Klaus wrote with me. So, and his artist did the work on that as well. So.
Absolutely, dude, it's
solid.
Too good. I can't wait. I'm definitely getting this the second it comes out. Yeah, the main cover done by Ken and White, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which crazy good. I like.
Yeah, I think
definitely
so.
one of his best covers. At least from what I've seen. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in. Oh, of course you're not gonna work. Okay.
Yeah, you have to open it. Oh, nice.
Whatever.
If you open it in the new tab, it'll let you zoom in, I think.
It's fine. We can see it just fine. All right. Anyways, yeah, he kind of got like the Winter Soldier arms going on.
Yeah.
Cool.
And a little bit of like a Hellboy kind of vibe with the broken horn, you know?
Yeah. The design, everything in this is cool. This is like Ghost Wolf kind of back here, or like a demon thing.
Yeah, that's the Okuri Inu that possesses him.
Yeah. Yeah. I just this front cover is just absolutely amazing, and then the back cover done by Matt Barr, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah.
Which I've hired him to do his stuff as well. And this is just like fun.
Yes.
Like, such a goofy, like, woo!
Yeah. But it's cool. It's a good fun. It's not like silly. It's
right.
good
Yeah.
stuff. Oh man, he got that guy in the eye. As your wife said, the eyes are the groin of the head.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you got great stuff going on here. And I read, did I read the 32?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what I sent
so I
you,
read
yeah.
that. I like what I read, and you said it's available to everyone, so everyone should go check that out because it's got a good story starting off, and I'm excited to read more on that.
Clearly some good art too, you know.
Yeah, it's not too shabby, right? It's not too shabby.
Yeah. That's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't listen to Battsauce. It's not too shabby. It's pretty good actually. No matter how bad Battsauce says it is. You hear me? You hear me?
What? All right, wait. Wait, do you have more than one trailer?
I don't think so.
What
If you go down at the bottom, there might be like a troll video. I have a troll trailer where I'm doing push-ups because people were doing push-ups like a month ago or whatever.
Yeah. Wait, I don't know which one it is. There.
Here, real quick, I can give you a link. Or do you want me to share? Actually, I can share.
Yeah, if you can share it, yeah, that'll work too.
Yeah, real quick. I understand. Let's proceed. Yeah, let's see. And you Twitter, audio on, share, full screen. There you go.
That's my wife
Should be
saying. Never lost.
Takeru Okazaki, the wild wolf of Tokyo, I don't see why the guild mocked you a hazard. You don't look so tough.
I don't have time for bounty hunters.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got too many good things going on right now, man.
So is the tone of your book kind of like that trailer? Pretty fun, pretty playful, I'd say. Is the tone of the book like that? Like, does it capture the tone pretty well?
So the trailer is actually just inspired by Saturday morning cartoons. And it's kind of like an upbeat, get people interested. But when you look into it, it's definitely more of a tragic hero. And the themes that I play with in this are actually the Jungian shadow, right? Like shadow development, digging into that stuff. And so the Okuri Inu is just a Japanese cryptid, but its story, like the myth that goes along with it, I found it to be sort of like an allegory for the Jungian philosophy. So I took that and worked it into this tragic space bounty hunter, cyber Ronin kind of character that I made, and it all blends really well. A lot of people have been giving me really, really good feedback on it, and have helped me like sharpen it into something that I think is going to give a pretty cool impact to people when they read it.
And for those listening that are not aware of the Jungian philosophy, that would be the shadow self, right? The concept of the shadow self. Yeah. So like a devil person goes perfectly with that for obvious reasons, like the devilish Hellboy appearance. Yeah. And kind of Ronin vibes, right? So that's some cool incorporation there, like with the sword and stuff. Feels kind of like a traditional Ronin or of some kind.
Yeah, and he the whole thing is sort of to make him feel out of place in the world, kind of like he uses his sword, and when he's in this hyper technological world, he's a human, but he looks like a demon, so he has to deal with the fact that people think he's not a human, and so everything in this is sort of isolating him. That's another kind of like theme in a way. It's a smaller theme, but that's where he gets his personality from. He's just been isolated his whole life, so he doesn't really know how to people very well.
Cool.
Is there ninjutsu in it?
No, but the magic system is soft, and it uses like the ki or chi of a person. So you can be like a Bruce Lee. So it's kind of inspired by Shadowrun. If anyone's played Shadowrun, they'll kind of know a little bit of this. But like to do either magic or any kind of like boosting of your abilities, you kind of have to tap into your aura or that chi. And that's sort of just doing that and focusing and training can allow you to do quote unquote kind of like ninjutsu sort of things, or cast like a fireball. But it's just different ways of training and harnessing your aura.
Well, it only takes a simple explanation. That's all they had to do in Ninja Scroll.
Yep.
But it just, I don't know. It was really weird in that. Not in your, but yeah, Ninja Scroll. Because I've seen it explained, very similarly in plenty of other mangas. For when they're not trying to go through like an in-depth Full Metal Alchemist type of power system, right? But yeah, you should watch our discussion on hard and soft magic, because we kind of get into that.
The thumbnail for it is. I was looking at the thumbnail. I'm like, where do you guys come up with this stuff?
I just googled gay wizard.
Just wait till you.
That's how. Okay.
And Justin, just wait till you see the first like 30 seconds of the video.
It's great.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. He's a fan of the show, I think.
Yeah,
Justin.
Yeah,
it's just a bonus that I'm here. I'd watch even if I wasn't.
Well, it's not like I made that. It's not like I made the soft lightsaber fucking bolt. Saber thing. I stole it. I stole from somebody who did. Who's got better skills than I have. All right. I should have pulled it up since we were chit-chatting, but I didn't. Let's get into the first discussion, which is Justin. You know you're the master of the discussions.
I have it here. I do have it.
You
But-
literally made us like
and
list it out.
never settled
you
on
even
one. There's like
even said
10
you're like,
topics
guys,
listed,
I'm
and I was
going
like,
to
pick
captain it.
3.
I will make
No
sure
one
we're on
picked
top
any.
of it.
No one picked anything.
That was your words, not mine. Sorry. Now I'm scrolling through our
Y'all
fucking.
drive me crazy. Oh man, yeah. So well, the good news is Kahuna didn't have to leave, so he can bail us out if we hit a wall. The first topic, because of this movie, there are scenes in it which you could argue are maybe a little gratuitous or a little unnecessary. So the first topic we want to discuss here is in art, comics, movies, what have you, nudity and gore. Okay, whenever it's I guess the levels of it, is it necessary or is it gratuitous? Is there a line? All that sort of stuff. So to me, like in the movie, I said with Kagero, that basically noped me out. Like, I don't need to see depictions that clearly. I am much more a fan of, if you're going to do something that intense, just imply it. Like, I don't need that kind of dark imagery in my head. I'd prefer to not have it in there. It's just some stuff there's a movie we watched recently, like with this one, that's the scenes with her and the assault. I'm like, come on. But there was a movie we watched. It's like this low budget alien movie, and it wasn't a bad flick, but the alien that they catch and they're like studying or whatever, trying to figure out what to do with it because his alien buddies are showing up to save him. He breaks out and he gets the one guy and he just starts like pulling his insides out, and they're trying to like get to their friend, and every time they take a step closer he pulls a little bit more. And I'm just watching it. We're looking at each other. I was watching it with my wife, and we're like, this is so unnecessary. Like, why did they do this?
Shock
And
value.
it's the kind of thing burned in my head, burned in her head. We'll never get rid of it. It's just going to be in there and just make you sick to your stomach every time you think of it. And I'm like, why?
What's this
why
movie?
did you have to go that far? I'll have to ask her what the name of it is. The premise is kind of cool, but there's just a couple scenes that are so over the line. I'm like, come on, why? Like, I just can't. I don't get it.
Woodrow, you were gonna say something?
Well, I was gonna say, one, I think that sometimes that's done purposefully because it's like there's like a niche for that stuff, but also I think it's a lazy way to create tension. Like you said, he keeps pulling on it and pulling on it or whatever, but it's just gratuitous. It's just like a cheap way to create tension and stuff, even though it's uncomfortable for probably the average viewer.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why I hate shock value typically. Obviously it's worth it at times, but it's cheap. It feels like they're cheating to get your attention. They're cheating to create tension. And I like good, solid, not lazy story writing in my stories. But nudity, is it necessary? Let's talk about the nudity a little bit here. 99% of the time, no. There is time that it is necessary. But also there's the aspect of that sells more than anything.
I was gonna say, what would be an example of a time when it's necessary?
It was necessary in Game of Thrones during one of the scenes when Daenerys went through the fire and like obviously her clothes burned off.
Yep.
But
Perfect example.
you could film that without needing to, from her back, from like her lower back up. I think anything, to me, it's like there's always a way to work around it, and whenever they don't, it's like you said, it's
Are
because
you afraid of her boobies, Justin?
See, this is the
her,
thing.
Her boobies are strong, beautiful, and bold.
Boobies.
I'm
And,
afraid of her boobies.
Quite frankly, what you're saying is sexist
I'm
and
afraid.
somehow homophobic. As in,
that's I don't know. It just, if it's so like I've even said before, I'm like, if there's a PG-13 filter, I'd probably watch more things. But I'm just like, God, some of it's so unnecessary. I can't think of a time when having it there, it's not because it's just to drive more eyes. Like, I've never seen a movie like that was totally necessary. To me, I'm always like, okay, the director, whoever, Harvey, whoever it happens to be, wants to see that girl. or the entire team. And then it's like some actress has to go and like film that in front of an entire group of strangers. I'm just like, man, that's weird. And then yeah, I don't know. It's just it always strikes me as something that could be cut because of I hate women and homosexism or whatever.
I
Whatever
think
you
it's
said.
your internal homophobia.
Yes, it's my misogyny.
Yeah,
is,
you're
getting
projecting.
after it. It's clear.
You're you're
I didn't know I was
movies.
being that. I'm that transparent.
You weren't breastfed as a young.
I told you that in secrecy,
you are
Bat.
right.
How dare you?
You are right. It's one of these. It's one of these things, though. It's like sex sells. It's like a basic. It's a basic thing, and it's one of those things. Shut up, Caroline. Yeah, no, it is true though. But it's like, yeah, man, like you gotta even think about it when you're trying to market your own, like, stories. You're like, do I want to put a big titty person up on the cover? It means nothing.
Big titty person? How inclusive of you, buddy. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you, dude. Dude, I'm really proud of Battsauce right now.
Oh fuck.
Fuck. Yeah, okay. No, but like it doesn't, like, how many comics are selling more because they're putting a titty person on there? And it's just like, well, what? They do a cover that's more true to what's happening in the story, but it sells less. It's just one of these things, and it's like, you know how many fucking teenagers go watch a rated R movie because they see that nudity is labeled in there.
And yeah, I think the point that you're making, I'm gonna rephrase the same thing. It's whenever you say necessary, there's two angles to that. Necessary in terms of the art, probably not. But as you were saying, necessary in terms of we do need to sell these things. So if that moves units, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of artists that fall into that where maybe they're not a huge fan of it, but it does move some units, That's even like I was saying at the beginning of the show. I started playing Stellar Blade, and I was on the fence about it because I had seen how fan servicey it could be. And I'm like, are they doing that just to move the game because it's not that good? And it actually made me hesitant. So sometimes it's just funny. I guess the amount of units that you sell will outweigh people that see those units selling and go, is it only selling because of what's on it rather than it actually
your mic's fucking up.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah. So bounce out. You can bounce back in. What do you think about boobies, Woodrow?
I kind of feel the same where it's, I mean, I like them. First off, they're great. No, but when it comes to like putting them in stuff, and I think it's just to sell stuff ultimately. I've had this conversation with people before, and I do feel that, yeah, it's just shock value to get people talking about scenes, or I just check out this actress in this thing, or to create a tone and a vibe as well. But like I just think the same. Like it could be shot without showing anything. Like that same, you can kind of get the same tone. But yeah, I don't think it's that necessary.
No, and it's true. It's true. Yeah. So let's go back into the gore. I think we're on it with boobies. We're on the same page. We like them. We all like them, but it serves nothing for the positive for really anything. But
unless you wanted to showcase like if I'm almost thinking like if one of the themes of the story was just hyper realism, then you could, and hear me out, you could like let's say it's like an Indiana Jones story. He comes across like some tribal people. Hyper realism is one of the themes. Maybe it's grim, dark, and really gritty. You can like actually show how like people like that would live, you know what I mean? And not all of them are fully clothed. So that would be an example where nudity, just like National Geographic gets away with it, right? But it's like, I do see instances like you were saying, Battsauce, where I really don't think the alchemical wedding from a Game of Thrones would be the same without Daenerys actually being naked, because there's some details in the book.
I mean, they make the point though. They make the point though that like they could have shot her from the neck up.
That's true. But
well, okay. True. What about the scene with Lannister lady?
The shame
her. What?
The shame scene?
Yeah, the shame. Like I feel like
Right.
I feel like visually seeing her naked,
It's part of it.
walking
It's part
through
of
the
it.
streets was part of the humiliation.
Yeah.
I say that actually added.
Yeah. No, that
little bit.
added. See,
I
that's
think there is some instances. I think some, but I will agree with Evely most of the time though. Like, yeah, you can shoot it. You can shoot it from like the waist up or downward or.
Yeah, but I feel like specifically in the shame scene, it was part of the emotional connection between the visual and the viewer is really instilling that humiliation is visually seeing her naked. I honestly, I think that played a part into it.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think about that, Justin? We're talking about the shame scene from Game of Thrones.
I know that's the argument made for it. I still am like, you can get that without having to go that extra step. To me, it still gets down to they might say they're doing it for those reasons, but even if that's the case, that doesn't mean the audience is going to take it that way. They're just going to be like, nice, and freeze frame it or slow-mo or whatever. And the context of the scene will be lost anyways. So it's almost, I don't know. Like,
what?
You get the point well enough.
I don't get your point on that one.
Even if you do it for an art's sake, somebody else is going to take it and interpret differently. It's like it doesn't really matter. So,
well, okay, you always run the risk of people interpreting things differently.
You can convey it 85%. Let's say if having her actually naked on film gets you to that 100% where, wow, you really hit that emotional marker. But if you get 90% of the way there, not good enough. Rather than, I don't know, it almost, I can't think of any context where it's actually that necessary.
Yeah. 100% agree. I think the whole world agreed on that. They're like,
now
that was some creepy shit. Like,
brother.
Here's the thing though, where this gets a little, I don't know, it still is kind of unnecessary. But another part of it, like I said, is you got some girl, somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, whatever, is going on the soundstage in front of a bunch of people, taking her top off or whatever, for millions of people look at her, fake grinding on some stranger for money or whatever. Once you get in like AI, where they're not actually having to do that, that's where it's a little bit like, it's still unnecessary, but at least it's not that level of weird. Like, to me, that's just
AI is not going to replace it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the scenes, they already have it like that.
Not,
like,
I mean, because we didn't see, like, for whatever the actress was for the shame scene, like, that wasn't actually her naked.
Exactly. That's what I'm kind of getting at.
But there were people upset because that was, you could tell, and people were like, why? The pervs are going to perv.
Sure, but why feed them? Like, you could just
no,
avoid it.
I agree.
Yeah,
agree.
I don't know. I figured I was
because of sales,
but that's the other thing that's interesting is that if you have nudity in something, it's an automatic R, unless it's like very brief. If you're talking like Airplane from the 80s that they didn't have a PG-13, you might be able to get away with it for like a second or like a butt.
Man, let's go back to the 90s, man.
Hey,
PG-13 boobies.
Thing. When you have nudity in there, you're basically a guaranteed R. Once you're a guaranteed R, you're eliminating your audience that's under a certain age. So it's interesting to me, again, they must move more units by going the hard R versus leaving it more like PG-13. That's like a movie like Lord of the Rings. It's awesome because you can sit down and watch it when you're with your kid, your nephew. It doesn't have to be that old. It's got some scary stuff, but it's PG-13. Or like the Harry Potter and stuff. Whereas some other movies, if you sit down and watch Ninja Scroll with your kid, most people are crying.
Well,
the kid's not a kid anymore.
Typically, people avoid the rated R thing, rated R, to sell to a wider audience, except for like horror, right? And horror is like also the genre where you see most boobies in. Probably because once you hit that rating, they're like, shit, let's just do everything we can to sell it. Yeah. They're like, hey, we got 6 pairs of titties in this movie. And you're like, oh, hell yeah.
And they're all going to get stabbed. It's like, wait, why are we mixing these two things? These should not be together. This is like weird, just sensory overload. And that's nothing. I'm like, I can't get into slashes either. Same reason. It's like, why are we?
I will say,
pretty people. Why are we stabbing them?
Kahuna is not here to speak right now, but I did get some audio from him. I'm going to play that real quick.
Fellas, I need to tell you something. I think I'm homosexual. And also, I'm addicted to cocaine.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Breaking news.
I didn't know about the cocaine bit, but cool. I knew about the homosexual bit, so not much of a secret there, buddy. All right.
So, are you guys of the mind? Could something have excessive gore, excessive nudity? Does that ever ruin something for you, or is it like no? It's okay. That's where I'm at with like
well, excessive nudity. What am I, Emily? No, that doesn't ruin anything for me.
like if there's just man dog everywhere, you're fine with it. It's just cool.
Excessive gore. There's definitely something that's been in there that's like, I'm like, all right, come on.
Yeah, man. Did you see the not the newest Alien, but the one where it's inside of her and the machine like cuts her open because it's like growing inside and then she's
Prometheus?
like, fight it. I think it's Prometheus. It was so nasty. I'm like, over the top.
Well, it's like especially if you didn't sign up for it too. You know, like it wasn't advertised well.
I don't know why it bothers me. Like I've gutted deer and stuff, so it's like it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't be around these things. But it's just weird that, and it's almost immersion breaking because whenever it gets that gross with like humans, I'm like bothered by it, and I have to be like, this isn't real. This is CGI. This is special effects. But then I'm being taken out of the movie because it's so gross. I have to be like, this isn't real, man. Like it's not real. I know it looks real. They're trying to make it look convincing, but it's not. But then it like breaks it. I don't know.
I don't have an example. I know it's happened before. I know where I've been like watching something. I'm just like, oh, come on, dude. Specifically because it wasn't like in a movie where like it was a tonal shift. Like the tone of the movie was very much not that, and then it was like, oh, whoa, you know. But I will say, like, gratuitous violence and gore, it's necessary sometimes. You know, like obviously there's a line between when something becomes like torture porn, but like the guttural violence of things can be used to emphasize, you know, emotion in a scene.
Yeah, one of the hardest scenes to watch that in a film ever that I've ever watched. It's not even that gory, but it's so violent. Is in Saving Private Ryan when that dude gets knifed. Dude, oh my gosh, absolutely brutal.
Was that what you're going to say, Woodrow?
Yeah, that was the point I was going to bring up. Is that that's a scene where it's not even as brutal as you would think, but it feels brutal because they're showing it viscerally. Yeah.
Just Emily had a. I just love playing that.
It is a good one.
Fun fact, a little trivia. What do you think sells the most? What do they make the most money off of in Hollywood?
Boobs.
What movie? Boobs. So like rated R.
Boobs.
Because boobs.
Sex sells. Like that is the number one rule of things. You know
what
the first. You ever watched the first season of The Apprentice?
No.
They like I think it was like the first season. They basically did they did teams in the beginning. It was men and women, and the woman kept crushing the men in every tack, because every episode is a different like thing that they have to sell. And the woman kept winning because they just unbuttoned a little bit and they used literally sex to sell. And then it was like the fourth or fifth episode, Trump comes down. He's like, hey, you guys need to stop like doing that. Like, it's being a little undignified, right? But the thing is they were crushing it. They were crushing the men because they were just using sex to sell. And it's just, that's how it works, man. It's the number one seller to things.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Emily, what do you think?
I'm pretty sure my mic is jacked up again. Or can you guys hear me? Okay.
It's jacked up again.
It's jacked up. Man.
Yeah.
We can hear you though.
What are you doing?
I updated the drivers the other day, and I thought it would fix a bunch of problems, and it just made everything really bad. I'm gonna blame Windows.
Yeah. It's your like whole sound system thing, whatever.
Yeah, the whole thing's jacked up.
It's the $40 cord or the $20 cord. You need to get the $80 cord.
Oh man, that's how did you remembered that? Wow, that's impressive. That's deep.
You gotta get the $80 cord. Emily, pick a rating for movies. What do you think sells the most?
Which rating sells the most?
Yeah, where do they make the most money?
I'm going PG.
What do you think?
Which rating makes the most?
Yeah, you said boobs, right? I said rated R.
Oh, I thought you were like asking what aspect of things sell the most, but sorry. Yeah, okay. Woodrow, yeah, you go, then I'll say my answer.
I feel like PG-13 because it's the biggest audience, but maybe not.
Good answer. Battsauce.
It's PG. Kids movies sell way more than anything else.
Yeah, it's like the youngest possible. Yeah. Like
PG.
that sells the absolute most.
Frozen is a Goliath.
So why doesn't that make up like 80% of the market? Instead, 80% of the market is exactly what Evely is saying. Like, let's suck the soul out of this young lady because the perverted guy wants to see it, or like the crew wants to see it, stuff like that. Let's leave Evely with this image in his mind so he has nightmares, later.
Well, there's
that kind of shit. Why is it 80% that and only like 20% the kids stuff, right?
Wait, what do you mean? There's a lot of kids stuff.
There's a lot, but it's not nearly the majority, or like it doesn't correlate with how much money they make on it. If they make that much money, it's not about profit to them, is what I'm saying. They're just like,
no.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the low budget stuff, like again, they'll be targeting the audience outside of that big audience that the big corporation is going to be able to take, right? So they're going to target a different audience, right? Like there's no reason if you're low budget to try to target the child audience. It's already taken by Disney and whatnot. So again, and also they're making more movies out of passion, and of course adults are making it, so they're going to make what they want. And there is like a big cult audience for that, like really gory horror stuff. Like if you look at Terrifier, the Terrifier series.
Right. So you could argue a smaller group of people that will revisit the genre more often. So they're a reliable source of money. But reliable doesn't mean it's the largest group or the most ripe for the picking, so to speak, right?
You also got to look at
answer though, Bats. That was a good answer though, what you said.
Right. Yeah. But also like horror is like the best thing to produce. It's basically the best thing to make your money back and then some, because horror is produced very cheaply, and then a lot of them make bank. And even if they don't, they produce it at an extremely cheap rate.
And that's why it's even more surprising, because a lot of the kids stuff is like animated, which is really expensive. That's like really expensive. When you hear an animated thing is like a huge budget, it's like, yeah, you got to pay the voice actors and the animation studio. It makes sense. But then when you hear like The Acolyte was that crazy amount compared to like all the shit coming out at the same time, that's a whole different story. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, even despite all that like expensive barrier to get through, it still makes the most. It surprised the shit out of me when I first heard it.
Well, okay, and to like kind of feed into the point I guess you were making in the beginning, like you could tell the Rings of Power guys, Amazon, they really want to throw boobies in Rings of Power. But like everybody from the get-go is like, do not put any nudity in Lord of the Rings. It is the one series where it would make the least sense to have any nudity in.
Right. That's a good
find that pretty hard.
So I had forgotten about all that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good example. Like they can't sexualize anything and sell it. Can't sexualize anything and sell it. I believe it's pretty controversial when they do that sometimes.
Rings of Power is still going though, so they still have a chance to
wait.
To have a little slip in there. You know?
No. I think the season 2 was so horrible. I've been saying this from the get-go after the second season finished. I'm like, I think they're canceling it. They still have not announced season 3. And they are already on the books for like 3 or 5 seasons. So everybody's saying that like, oh no, they're gonna have a 3rd season. I honestly think that season 2 was so bad that they might actually end up canceling season 3.
Really? I don't know.
There's nothing stopping them from canceling it. Just because they said we're going to do 5 seasons doesn't mean they can't like unsay it or whatever.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
They'll try to write.
Well, they have it on the shareholders, but
they'll try. I think they'll try to right the ship. I think with season 3, I do think it will happen, and they'll try to fix things in whatever way that they can to try and get people back. But I think they'll go on the season.
They have to have like a struggle session, Justin. They'd have to have like a really embarrassing entire season long struggle session, just apologizing with every episode.
Yeah, well, so it's like basically it's like with the shareholders. AC, you got really quiet for some reason, but they have with the shareholders, they already have like an agreement to do at least like 3 or 5 seasons. Like they got approved or whatever. But it can be so bad again, they're looking at the profit loss, that it's just like, dude, they didn't just lose a little bit of their audience from season 1 to season 2. They lost a massive amount. And then you look at the reviews and everything about it, and it's just like there's no faking it. That season 2 was just god awful. And like even if you're like an old person, like, you know, in Hollywood with big money or watching this, you're just like, you know, typically they'll be like, oh, I guess the kids get it. They got to be watching this shit and being like, there's just no fucking way. Like,
You know,
there's no fucking way.
You know, books like Fourth Wing. I know a lot of people that love that book, and guess what? You know what else they like too, and they think is just fine, and they'll watch another season of it. Rings of Power. It's just fine.
It's not that big of a crowd as you
not-
think. Yeah, well, okay.
That
So-
could be true, but
So Fourth Wing, like that crowd, even the crowd that's like it's got a massive crowd for the book. You bring that to the movies, no way. No way.
sure. But I
It's
think
just
there's
not gonna be.
crossover in the crowd that is just like, oh, Thing, I like Thing good. Oh, TV
Oh,
Thing?
100%.
Okay. Like just whatever's on, it's just something to watch. It's just like they're not invested. So it's just everything's surface level. They're like, yeah, it's fine. It's something new to watch. Hey, I recognize that sword. Oh, hey, it's that guy.
The Fourth
popcorn.
Wing is
Let's
better
go
than Rings
outside
of
now.
Power by a lot.
Sure, but it's just with everything that comes
Well-
out. It's just, oh, new Thing, cool. Did you watch Thing? Yeah, good,
Oh,
right?
I
Yeah,
know.
good. And then they
That's-
just keep going. It's this about everything, you know.
Those are literally my sister-in-laws. It's like the second. It's like we already know what they're going to think about whatever is
Right.
current. Like, you know, we just saw them for the holidays, and it's like, you know, Wicked it just came out, and we're like, well, we know how they're going to feel about Wicked.
Mhm.
It's brave, beautiful, bold, and yep, they're saying the exact, like, literally, like you could record what we're going to guess they're going to say, and they'll say those words verbatim.
Oh, let me get a tear off your face here, Bats. Let me just reach over and get that tear off your face.
What?
No, it's
What are you doing?
I was being Ariana Grande to your
Oh,
Cynthia
okay. Oh, yeah,
Erivo.
dude, so fucking weird. Those interviews are so weird.
earlier.
But
Here,
yeah,
hold
it's
my-
just it's
hold
like
my hand.
it's like I go over to, you know, my in-laws for the holidays, and it's just like, oh, what do the robots have to say about what's going on in culture? Like, you know. But all right. Next topic.
Yeah, you got the next topic, right, Joe? Go ahead. And
No, we already
Pilot thing.
agree that you got all the topics.
History of the ninja.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's do ninjas versus samurai. I figure we covered soft and hard
Same thing.
magic. I was like, we could probably discuss it again, but yeah, let's talk ninjas or samurais, guys. Ninjas or samurais?
Are you guys aware that ninjas were invented to take down samurai?
I didn't know that's why they invented. I thought they
Well-
were just invented for like any kind of solutions.
Yeah, espionage and other things too, not just
Mhm.
merely assassination. But yeah, that was definitely their tactics were to defeat people with like samurais fighting and stuff like that. Like the Kurosari Gamo is meant to tie up their sword and shit like that.
So
I'm
I
really
really
torn.
like Japanese culture. I really like Japanese culture, but sometimes I look at them and I'm like, y'all were retarded, weren't you? Like you had lead in the water, right? Like that's definitely what was happening. I've never seen a culture not have a shield as a primary like thing. Like if you try to like Google search a shield in Japanese culture, like there's one, but like it's not something that you use. And you're like, how did you not figure out to put a shield on your arm? And like I know their shoulder pads are supposed to be kind of shieldish for arrows, but I'm like, but not really, guys. Having this is much better.
You can verify this. You can verify this with Shad, but it's because the katana is capable of cutting arrows mid-flight. That's a fact.
yeah, totally.
Down the middle, not even like not in half, but right down the middle. You just split that thing.
Dude, they spent all this time like crafting these swords that like break pretty simply because they're all made out of shit metal.
Yeah, and it's just that whole like honor culture thing. Samurai on the surface, I'm like, oh, it's so cool because like the honor. But then you run into things like that, like, no, we can't use a shield because I'm surely somebody thought of it, but it's just like no, we don't use a shield. It's code, and we face each other, and no stabbing me in the back. And then a bunch of them get taken out by people like ninjas or archers or whatever.
That girl's
where-
just giving herself up to me. Ew.
Yeah.
No, it is. Like, look, Japan's nowhere near as bad as like China, where like kung fu is literally made up. Like it is like LARPing. Like kung fu is like 100% ineffective as a martial arts. And it's backed by the government, and government has a incentive to encourage it, and they will like literally silence people, like silence people who try to prove otherwise.
Did you see that MMA fighter out there who is beaten?
Yep.
Yeah, they totally like, you can't ride buses anymore.
Yep.
Wait, what happened with the MMA fighter?
Yeah, a Chinese MMA fighter went out like to like prove that kung fu was basically fake, and he went up against like he put challenges out to all these masters, and of course you get like these masters of these kung fu arts that like mastered the art of 1,000 karate chops, and would go to like fight him, like even like some old guys, and like they wouldn't last 2 seconds. It was like embarrassingly how bad they beat him up, and it was like they would do like the whole kung fu thing for all of a second, and the second they get hit once, it's like, well, they close up the arms. Yeah, but no, I kind of see similarities with some of the Japanese culture. Obviously, not to the extent, but like I kind of feel like that's how the ninjas were. They're like, oh yeah, we have these like super secret weapons, like the nunchucks, which we, took the horse's reins and we, use that as a weapon because that's what nunchucks were. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like you could just have like a, stabby thing, dead.
Right.
Well, a lot of it had to do with they were lower class people, and you can't carry blades, so they had to use
farming tools.
Farming tools, and
yeah,
improvised implements. But
yeah, because the nunchuck, and Chad would agree with this, the nunchuck is the most bullshit weapon like ever.
No, don't tell that to Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Isn't it true too that Bruce Lee never actually fought in a real sanctioned match? Like he was just a showman. Like he was very talented, but
yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Whoa. That's
yeah,
crazy
like
to me.
99% of the things that you hear about Bruce Lee and his ability to fight, yeah, it's kind of like made up.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, you got some real talent with those nunchucks.
Yeah, I can hit myself in the nuts pretty good.
All right, let's see.
You know what Bruce Lee said? Fear the man who learned one kick 1,000 times. I've learned to hit myself in the nuts like a master. So beware.
Hey, that's a kung fu art too. They got like the people that will constantly kick themselves in the balls.
Yeah, the monks who get hit with your nuts. Yeah,
that's gotta be fake, right? Like they just had them like removed, and so you watching and something's off there.
Maybe
who knows?
There.
Who knows?
But aesthetically, though, I gotta give it to Samurai in terms of the armor's cool. They got the masks they wear into battle that are real scary with like the demon faces, kind of like your comic. That stuff's really cool. They got the helmets and the pads, and even though it doesn't make sense just from an art standpoint, way cooler than just like, just this part of your face exposed and you're flipping around and throwing shurikens and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, it's because the ninja didn't really have like a legitimate thing ever going on. Like I said, the ninja started from farmers, poor class people, just kind of wrapping a towel around their head and being like, "It's harder to see me at night now." But no, Japanese armor, super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Visually, it looks so good.
They would take eggs and like poke a tiny hole in it and let all the yolk out.
Yeah.
And use just the eggshell and fill it with like powdered glass and like other just imagine anything that would be terrible to get in your eyes.
Oh,
they'd fill them
chili powder.
with that stuff. Yeah, chili powder, all that stuff.
What was that show? Deadliest Warrior. What?
Oh man,
yeah. They did the ninja versus the Spartan. It's such a cheesy show. I watched some of the YouTube videos on that. It's fucking hilarious.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. Even like a sling would take out a samurai, So rocking a sling. You ever seen the videos of the guys using slings like modern day, talking about that warrior thing? And like, it's crazy. I mean, it's, not a firearm, but it's not that far off.
Yeah. Again, it's like their armor wasn't like too great, like the samurai stuff. Like I'm kind of talking more samurai because it's like the ninja just again they just were people just wrapped a towel around their head, and used a farm
It's just a
tool
stealthy
like realistically.
That's all it is a stealthy samurai.
Yeah. Well, the samurai. Okay, so here's the other thing: samurais were way more into archery than anything else. Like they were,
Really?
yeah, because at that point, like the sword is just blown way out of proportion as a thing that was ever used in combat. It really wasn't much. It's expensive. Nobility really just it was a sign of nobility because it's so a lot of metal. It was a prestigious thing to be carrying around. But a bow was the thing to be rocking because a lot more people were getting killed and stuff like that, and due to archery. So it's like if you're a noble, higher class person, obviously you're not going to want to be in the trenches. You're going to want to be a little bit back.
Most samurai have fought with bows and spears. Yeah, the nobility and shit had the katanas.
And a lot of samurai rode horses too. I always think of them standing in fields of wild flowers with petals going everywhere and just one on one.
No.
But I think most of them were riding horses and just sniping fellas.
Cinema really warps a lot of our minds on how history was. So it's just like the katana really wasn't ever too much of a big deal, like as it's made out to be.
That's why
especially like how I said, it's not really a good they fold it because it's really poor metal, so it's like they have this whole style to make it a functioning sword, but it's still like kind of weak. Like it could break pretty easily. Like blades break on battle, like especially a katana would. It's got a wooden handle, right? Of course. What am I saying? It's not. What am I saying? Wooden pins, which is unusual. Typically it's metal pins in a sword. It had wooden pins, and now that was more comfortable when the sword was bashing against metal for the vibrations, but also it was weaker, so again more likely to break. Also, everyone else figured out hand guards. Why did fucking Japanese never figure out how to put a hand guard on a goddamn sword? They have this little tiny thing, and then they're like, yeah, that'd be good, even though the hands are the most exposed things ever. Let's not put a basket or anything around the sword. So, he dropped out again. Jesus Christ, he keeps dropping out. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but and then if you look at
they might have not wanted one. And that's a possibility too.
Yeah, but talking about effectiveness in the fight, man. That's when it's like the honor code thing. It just gets fucking stupid. Now it's just you're making excuses to get killed. But the Mongolians' armor and like kind of the weaponry and a lot of aspects of Mongolian like warrior culture was just way better than the Japanese during that those time periods. But yeah, I don't know. There's something to say though, because during more modern World War II time period stuff, Japan came in and fucked shit up, dude. They were unstoppable. But yeah. The samurai is overly glorified is really what I'm saying. And so is the ninja. Well, I think it's time to end this anyways. Justin, we're going for a while.
So samurais won?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think the idea of a ninja, because of animation and stuff like that, it's a lot cooler. Like, until I see a ninja do fireball jutsu, I'm not going to be team ninja. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
samurai.
Ninja is just rogue type samurai.
Yeah, exactly. Like I need to see them do some shadow clone jutsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, it's just kind of jerks. This guy's trying to have an honorable fight, and they're just like showing up while he's sleeping, throwing eggshells full of glass at him. It's like,
no, you're not being honorable enough.
You guys ever play Shogun Total War? By chance?
No.
There's
no.
So you
play
can
Total
send
War
out
though.
You can send out assassins to do assassination missions, and they have all these videos. There's like one where this guy's he's got like a cart and he's walking down a town, and there's a emissary coming towards him, but he's got a crossbow in the cart and just like shoots the crossbow out of it and keeps walking like a traitor. And there's another one where he like drips poison down a rope into the guy's mouth and shit. It's a pretty fun game.
Jeez.
Tangent,
I was thinking of Bushido Blade for PlayStation 1, kind of an obscure game, but you have to honor the Bushido code in every fight or you lose even if you win. And if you don't know the Bushido code, a lot of times you actually like, but you have to fight guys there and that have like a pistol. So the guy's just like getting ready to shoot you and you have to deflect the bullet because if you just dodge it, that's dishonorable. It's like, oh, you lose. It's a wild game. And it's like
you can't dodge the bullet.
Yeah, you gotta like hit it with your sword. And it's all one-shot kills. Like if you hit a guy in the arm, they lose their arm, and it's just like you stab once, the fight's over. It was a weird game. It was cool, but we never beat it because you get to the end and you felt like you beat the guy fairly, and it's like, no, you violated Bushido. Go back to the beginning. Worth checking out though. Worth looking up. It's probably worth some money nowadays too.
Right. All right. Well, like I said, I think we talked enough about that. Heavily, where can we find you? What do you
can find me here, and also you can find my my newest release, Lift. It's now available on I think all platforms except for Spotify. But if you want to give that a spin, it's got my the lead single from this little ditty me and AC worked on a while ago. It's been like a year since we did this, dude. Time flies, right? So it's got that on there. There's 18 other tracks that I've done for various people from Iron Age Media over at Anvil. Ultimate Kahuna song is on there, Kikomon, all that good stuff. So go check that out. It's available again on all your favorite streaming platforms. And I am also on Iron Age Nights Friday nights on A Drink with Crazy Live over there with Daniel P. Riley from Whimsyland, as well as Royce from A Drink with Crazy, and also from Shadowversaries on it's the show Night's Watch. So many Night's
Watch. Yeah.
Night's Watch. So yeah.
All right. Woodrow, what's going on, man? What you got going on?
Just my comic, and I'm trying to upload shit to YouTube. I'm trying to figure out OBS and streaming right now with this new computer, but you can follow me here at all of my socials. So
yeah, you had me worried. We're about to go live. I'm like, why is Woodrow live?
Yeah, I thought I had an hour. My bad.
I spit it out. It worked out all right. It's all good.
AC, what you got going on, man? You gonna join me on stream tomorrow? I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, I think. So
I think I'm going to try to, yeah. And you can find me everywhere at A_C_ Pritchard. You can find my band everywhere at Empty My Lungs. And you can find my other YouTube channel, Pritchard Pub. And my book's on Amazon, amazon.com/author/AC Pritchard. My comic, find my comic .com/ASOS. That's about it.
All right.
Up in my feed on YouTube.
My wife guess what just came up in our feed on YouTube?
McCoppin, new book mail, Illumination Toolsmith.
Hey, like I said, better late today. Link is in the chat. Hell yeah. Good news, everyone. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna probably stream tomorrow. Probably gonna be joined by AC. I got a lot of comments to go over. My last video did pretty good. I had some pretty brain dead takes on my fucking necromancy video. It was like a little bit controversial, like some serious Reddit brain, just fucking stupid takes about, hey, you trying to push your morals on people? Okay, dude. All right, yeah, necromancy evil. Yeah. Yeah. Besides that, I got another video I will be releasing tomorrow, probably right after I live stream. And yeah, buy my book because it's fucking awesome. And yeah. Oh, check out our fucking videos on RNCs, guys. Subscribe, guys. We passed over 100. I'm getting really close to 400 or 500 subs on my channel. I'm at 470 right now. So
huge.
I can get to 500. That's a huge milestone if we could do that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll out on fucking Woodrow's thing right here. So let me get that up. No, I didn't want to share. No, sorry. Oops. Sorry, guys. This one. Okay, this is it. All right, guys, it's been a fun night. Enjoyed. I did have fun watching Ninja Scroll. There's no fucking scrolls in it. Is he even a ninja? Is the main character even a ninja? I think that's up for discussion. Like, there's ninjas in it, but main character's not a ninja. So, guys, this has been the Iron Seas, the best show that there is on Tuesday nights. And the seas are rough, so we judge things very roughly. We don't give things like little passes. But I'm gonna do this thing again. Alright, it's been fun, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Born in the hell of fire and steel, under the shadow of a crimson seal. Drinking flame with demons left, under a spirit that whispers hell. Ow! 虫の手には旗の昔の血管には火、言葉にできない鎖の世界に生まれた暗い木々の中で悪魔がささやく落ち着きのない戦争の言葉。A blow like burst down to his face. 死の音が夜に響き渡る。彼は過ちを探しそれを正す。彼の傍らには送り犬がいて、その上は増すばかりで決して拒まれない。私の手には鋼、私の血管には火、言葉にできない鎖の世界の言葉にで壁は食われたでは暗い木々の中では悪魔がさやか。So the bullet is staying entwined, fleeing the past but it's close behind, fleeing the past but it's close behind. Sword and bullet is fading twine, sword and bullet is fading. The past is a shadow we can't escape. Bound to the howl of an Akirinu, a bloodline curse bound to his face. 血の音が夜に響き渡る。今日さや街を探しそれを正す。彼の傍らには送り犬がいて、その上を増すばかりで決して拒まれない。Can you hear the howling winds, the ghostly wail of untold sins? Through the fire, through the rain, you face the beast and bear the pain. Hitaこれの犬かごで生まれ、真空の封印の影の下で悪魔が住む場所で殺す訓練を受け、地をささやく魂縛られて